Hello. Okay, so if my calculations are correct, and they're probably not, you guys are viewing this video after my daughter's wedding, after all the chaos, after the visit with my family. Time to get back on track and review some more videos.
Let's do it.
So this first video that we're going to review is Caleb and Sophia, Become Jehovah's Friend, and it's called Giving Makes Me Happy. Now, I find this to be a continuing theme throughout your lifetime as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So you are taught at a very young age that giving makes you happy. Yeah, everyone enjoys getting gifts. I personally, and I'm not the only one, really prefer to give gifts. I love Christmas for giving gifts, birthdays for giving gifts. In fact, I am strangely uncomfortable receiving gifts. And this did make me wonder if that has something to do with being raised, that giving makes you happy, giving is the better thing, receiving not good type of mentality. So you let me know if any of you feel horribly uncomfortable with receiving presents. I don't know. I'm curious if there is any connection there, because I am not a big fan of getting gifts. Anyhow, back to the video. This first review is a song, and because I do not want to get my video taken down, I don't know how stringent the governing body is at looking at little tiny YouTube channels. But to be on the safe side, I am going to run through these lyrics really quick while I'm playing the video, because the lyrics are more important than the music, to be honest. If only I had Sister Pfister here to sing it for me. Giving makes you happy, and that's what Jesus taught. I like to give to others whether they give back or not. I like to see how happy it makes them when I do. When I see happy faces, it makes me happy too. I like getting presents, but just like Jesus said, I'm happier, I know, if I can give a gift instead. Sometimes I give a present of something that I bought, or giving help to others doesn't take a lot. Giving makes me happy. I know it's really true. A gift can be a small thing, even things I say or do. Yes, giving makes me happy. I know it's really true. Because giving is a nice way of saying I love you. So right off the bat, we all want our kids to be generous. We want them to not be greedy. For me, however, that's not the message I hear from this video. For me, I hear what you're going to hear over and over again for the rest of your life. Yes, it is nice to do nice things for other people. Yes, it's nice to give gifts. Yes, it's nice to be helpful. But there is more to this video than just the act of giving. I genuinely feel that these lyrics tie into the message that you as an adult you will continue to hear throughout your life. Contributions are huge when you're a Jehovah's Witness. And I don't care, on the back of their pamphlets they say there's no cover charge, or whatever they're calling it, no fee for admission. But once you become a part of this organization, it is a given. It is a big part of how the entire corporation runs. It runs off of donations and free labor. So later on, you'll hear messages like this.
In the May 2015 monthly program, we shared our interest in expediting the construction of new kingdom halls and remote translation offices. And we explained some of the financial challenges we were facing in being able to do so.
So here's the setup. We told you how important these new kingdom halls and new translation offices were. And
we discerned that contributions immediately went up by more than 15% for the months of June and July. We thank you very much.
So, just like any other successful corporation, they're going to keep an eye on their books. And they noticed that as soon as they started doing the sad face and talking about the need, and you will hear things like that a lot if you decide to join this group, things like where the need is great, where you can give more, that donations went up by 15%. That's a lot. However, we're going to ask for a little more.
Does all of this mean, though, that we have accomplished all of our goals?
No. No, it doesn't. We're going to need more money.
You remember that in our May program, we mentioned the willing generosity of the Israelites in the wilderness when they were asked to contribute to the fabrication and construction of the tabernacle for true worship.
Okay, so this is also another common thread. They're going to compare exactly what happened with the Israelites to what is occurring now. And because the Jehovah's Witnesses have such a huge tie to the biblical history and the Israelites, that they do very much often compare to themselves to those same situations. So it's like, wow, they weren't in the greatest circumstances and they still gave. I may not be in the greatest circumstances, but...
You recall that in Exodus 35, it says that everyone whose heart impelled him and everyone whose spirit incited him came and brought their contribution for Jehovah.
Because if you don't, your heart and your spirit are not in the right place.
Money, 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 money. Money.
And in chapter 36, verse 7, it says, the goods were enough for all the work to be done, and more than enough.
Except in this case, when they asked the first time, and their contributions went up or donations went up by 15%, it wasn't more than enough. It wasn't even enough. So now we're going to need more of your money. Stephen Lett is become famous for this phrase.
In doing the math, we found that the amount of money flowing out will be much greater than the amount of money that we have coming in at this time.
Amount of money flowing out for what? These people work for free. Free. There's the amount of money going out. It is so frustrating, but if you were to ask any Jehovah's Witness, where does your money go? They're all going to say the same thing. Well, it's going to Jehovah's work. It's helping people less fortunate than us. The organization is growing so much that there's just new congregations popping up all over the place. And if anybody's keeping up with how many congregations are shutting down and how many congregations are emerging, or if, like me, you went to a Kingdom Hall recently and went, where's the people?
Where's the beef?
So this article was published on jwvictims.org in 2014 by Alexandra James. And this is what she noted. In the December 15th, 2014 study edition of the Watchtower magazine of Jehovah's Witnesses, after the cover page and the table of contents, there's an obituary for Guy Pierce, a member of their governing body who passed away in March of that year. Next, there is a 2-page article about how to contribute funds to the Watchtower Corporation, with a set of instructions on various ways to do this. These instructions include information on how to donate personal items and how to name the organization in your will, even leaving it your entire estate if you so desire. And I'm going to tell you, this isn't uncommon at all. And it's another one of those things that when you're in it, you don't see it. You're not feeling it. It's not until you're out that you do a double take. What the hell? And when I was a kid, contributions were huge. And so they don't pass a plate. In fact, they love bragging about the fact that they don't pass a plate and are hypercritical of any organization or religion that asks for money. And yet,
that the amount of money flowing out will be much greater than the amount of money that we have coming in.
You will get constant reminders, always these little messages of how much more you can be doing and giving. And it's not just money. Any ex-Jehovah's Witnesses out there will tell you it's time. A lot of time. And I hate to repeat myself, but you do dedicate a lot of time to be a good Jehovah's Witness. And even if you're not doing time out in the ministry, you're still going to spend time on your return visits trying to get them more spiritually strong. You might spend time with people who are weaker in the faith. Sometimes they directly ask you to do this if it doesn't come naturally. And I do especially like this lyric where they say to give whether you get back or not. It kind of paves the way of what you can expect from the governing body. Just saying. So this video isn't just about helping your mom paint the fence, or bringing your dad a glass of water, or bringing your sister a flower. You are being primed for what you will be doing for the rest of your life. Give, give, give. Let's move on to lesson number 8. Be neat and clean. Didn't I just mention a couple of weeks ago that we should teach our kids to be clean because they like the way clean feels, and not because cleanliness is next to godliness? Let's see if the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society can send this message, be neat and clean, without somehow claiming that Jehovah is neat and clean. Spoiler alert.
What's wrong, Caleb?
I can't find my airplane.
I can see why. Do you know what will help you to find your things?
Not being a disgusting little pig, that's what.
What?
By keeping your room neat and clean. Did you know Jehovah has a place for all his things?
Huh?
Jehovah has a place for all his things. Well, of course he does.
Like the planets. They're always moving, but Jehovah made them stay in their orbits so they don't crash into each other.
That is one of the worst examples. I did not expect that. That is one of the worst examples I've ever heard. Now, if Jehovah was taking the planets out and juggling them once in a while and not putting them back, no, the example they just gave is when you put something somewhere, it will still be there when you go back to it, like the planets. And how are they explaining meteorites that come crashing into the earth? Is that because Jehovah didn't put his things away?
Same with people. We all look different on the outside, but inside, Jehovah put all their bones and organs in the same place.
Really? How's those ovaries going, guys?
Imagine if your eyes were on the bottom of your feet.
I got nothing.
Jehovah even keeps the animals clean. Look at these fish. They are cleaning the hippo.
No, that's called mutualism. They are both mutually benefiting. So annoying. I should have picked a different video. Indicating that Jehovah sent the fish to clean the hippopotamus's feet is just wrong. As I said, they are both mutually benefiting.
These birds help too.
Okay, and again, this is a parasitic relationship. It's also mutualism, I suppose, because we all as adults know the function of the oxpecker to the hippopotamus. He didn't explain to Caleb that the bird is actually making tiny little cuts inside of the hippo for insects that they can then eat. What? Another lie? That's so weird.
I wish I had some animals to help me clean my room.
So do I sometimes. But that is why Jehovah gave you these, to pick things up with.
Oh, you see what they did right there? Very smart. Heading little Caleb off for Pillowgate. Is that what we told you your hands were for, young man?
When you keep your room clean, you are making Jehovah happy.
And that's a classic, which I know we hit on the last Caleb Sophia video. It's all about making Jehovah happy. So again, it's not about how a nice room, Yes, it does help you organize and it helps you to find things. That's where the lesson should have ended. But it always ties back to making Jehovah happy.
And who knows, once your room is clean, maybe you'll find your airplane.
I found my airplane!
Okay, let's go outside and play.
I feel like I can hear parents around the world asking, is that what Caleb would do? After they've pumped this garbage into kids' heads. So let me clarify, I'm not saying it's not important to be clean. It's very important to be clean. I like a clean, organized area, but just like any child, I hate cleaning. I'd rather teach the lesson that sometimes there's parts of life that we have to do that we just don't like. But for the bulk of us, listen, it's just part of everyday life, and that's what we need to be teaching our kids. We need to keep clean. We need to be tidy. No one likes to smell. And if you're like me, you absolutely hate when you can't find anything. But, broken record here again, tying everything into how much you're pleasing Jehovah, which we know means how much he will love you, is absolutely ridiculous. And taking things in nature that are occurring naturally is the most ridiculous example I've ever heard of telling a kid to clean their room. And if Caleb and Sophia's parents were living by example, his room probably wouldn't look like shit. Okay, any parent knows that's not necessarily true. I just want to throw in an extra dig. Shall we review what we learned this week? Nothing. That the governing body needs your money, and we'll start talking to you at a very young age about how important it is to give, even if you never get anything back. And you won't. And that if we want to make Jehovah happy, we need to be clean and tidy, and have fish eat at our feet, and have birds pluck little cuts into the back of our necks. Lesson learned. There is definitely some videos I'm looking forward to reviewing, but I have to wait, be patient, because that makes Jehovah happy. And until then, I'll see you next time.